Yo, what's going on, everybody? Hold on real quick. Let me get Leo in here. There he is. What up, bro?
Yo, what's good? What's good?
Can you see? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Everything crystal
Everything good.
clear?
For sure, for sure, for sure.
All right, all right. Hold on one second. Let me close this out real quick. Let me put the. I was gonna put the chat on the screen, but we got some bots in there going crazy right now.
Man,
You seen that?
I'm gonna have to start making mods for these streams when I go live now, cause they be saying some outrageous stuff now.
I,
I
I
don't
got two of
even
them right now, man. I got two of the best in the world, but it's so many bots on here. I understand, man. They going crazy.
they gotta go. They gotta go to the gulags now.
They gotta go to the gulags now. All right, so if you guys are new to the channel, this is Wrestling Family Sunday. This is our first time doing a collaboration on the segment when it comes to the show. So our first one is kicking it with Leo. How you doing, bro? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good.
Feeling good. Okay, how y'all feeling in the chat? The non-bots. How y'all feeling in the chat? Because I see some people in here. I'm like, I thought I recognized that name, and then as I'm reading through it, I'm like, bro, we getting Seth Rollins chair shots all throughout the chats because some of these names, I'm like, bro, why you got to do this? Why are you doing this? But hey, man, it is what it is. It comes with the territory. You can't be too mad about that. But how you want to start this off? You want to start off with reactions? You want to talk about Saturday night's main event? You the guest, so the floor is yours.
We could probably start with Saturday night main event.
Yes,
Saturday night.
sir. Yes, sir. All right, let me pull up the card real quick. I should have had this up before. By the way, if you haven't already, guys, if you're new to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe to Kicking It to with Leo, Mr. 800 subs at this moment. We trying to get him up to 1K, guys.
Yes, sir.
1K subscribers. That's right around the corner. All right. All right. So let's start off. So first of all, let's just get like a general feel for the show. How
Mm-hmm.
did you feel about the show overall?
I feel like the card was cool. I feel like, the matches, I mean, we've seen them before to an
Right.
extent, but I feel like it was something different. Like
Hmm.
especially with Rhea. I mean, we've seen her with Liv for the last couple of months, so it's kind of cool to see her do something different.
Right.
But I would prefer someone else. I would prefer maybe Rhea and Bailey because we never really got that.
Hmm.
Um, the main event was cool. I liked it. I mean, and we said it even last night when we were streaming, like if you want people to watch these shows consistently, you got to give the fans a reason to tune in. You got to give a reason for fans to buy tickets to come to these shows. And I think a great way to do that is potentially maybe having a world title change hands. I think that'll be a big deal for the show because now it's like fans can go into these shows like, oh, a world title can change hands here. It doesn't have to be at a
Yeah.
WrestleMania. It doesn't have to be at a SummerSlam or Royal Rumble. It can happen anytime and anywhere. And I would have preferred that they would have went that route. But I understand Gunther needs to keep that world championship. Same thing with Bromberg because you're trying to build them up. So it
Yeah.
kind of just felt predictable with a lot of these matches. And I hope that's something WWE does change as we
Yeah.
head into WrestleMania and even beyond that. Have more unpredictability in wrestling where we have these matches, we don't know the outcome. So it
Yeah.
was cool, but it could have been better.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. It's been a little bit too predictable because, like you said, if you want somebody to watch Saturday night's main event, because we got to think about the fact we got 3 hours of Raw, 3 hours of SmackDown. If you're watching NXT and if you're watching other promotions, why would you want to devote your time on a Saturday to another show where nothing is going to change? The same people came in one way, they're going to come out the other way. But then
Mm-hmm.
I thought about this last night. So I was kind of like, I said this in my prediction. I was like, okay, Sheamus should win, so at least we get some type of title change, so people can be like, oh, you know what? I don't want to miss the next Saturday night main event. Somebody could, lose their title there. But then this morning, when I slept on it, I had some Pandora bread. I watched the episode of Arthur, and I sat back and thought about it. I was like, you know what? When I look at it for what Saturday night main event seems to be,
Mm-hmm.
it really is a televised house show.
Yep.
I think that's just what they're going for. It's not a good idea, but I think that's what it's going for. And it's a house show-ish type of thing, right? Because I know it's kind of an oxymoron because with house shows, they're not televised, right? They don't
Yeah.
have any influences from the weekly television show, dealing with anything on the house show or the house show itself doesn't influence anything happening on Raw and SmackDown. But
Mm-hmm.
this one does. But I say it's a house show in the sense of we keep getting repeated matches. There's no title changes. There's no returns. There's nothing. So
Mm-hmm.
I guess when I look at it in that perspective, I'm like, okay, I can't expect anything to change. But it sucks, like you said. Why would I watch Saturday night's main event? Why would I be excited unless we're content creators, or unless I'm a super fan of WWE wrestling where I have to see every match. Outside of that, I don't know a reason why somebody would want to watch it. I don't know why a new person would want to watch it or anything
No.
like that. So I'm just trying to figure out. I think now we finally. I think for me now, I enjoyed this one better than last one because
Yeah.
I didn't know what we are gonna get into last time. Because the way they promoted it, it was like, oh, this is PLE or whatever. We found out it's a diet PLE. It's an upgraded house show, right? So now that we understand what it is and we came to this show, then it's like, all right, we know what we're getting. For what it was a pretty good show overall, right?
Hmm.
But let's just go through the matches real quick and just kind of give our thoughts on those things.
Yeah.
Unless you got something to add before we get into that.
And even what you said with the house show stuff, I think the last time they did something really big, I think goes back to 2017. They had a
Yeah,
title change that happened literally on a house show, and that was AJ Styles beating Kevin Owens to become
yeah,
US champion. So I'm
hmm,
like, if they were able to do that back then, why couldn't they do something like that now? I
yeah,
mean, maybe times is different. It's a different regime now than it was back then, but still the concept of having a title change on a house show or even here would have been
yeah.
cool. I just didn't like the ads and stuff like that and
Oh yeah,
commercials when
yeah.
we only had 2 hours to play with, like, come
We,
on
we
now.
had we had an hour and 45 minutes worth of commercials on a 2 hour show. And I'm exaggerating, chat, but bro, like I said last night, it felt like the commercials was the show and the matches were the commercials, bro. We got so many commercials. Every time I blinked, bro, it was a Peacock ad coming up. And I'm like, bro, do you guys want us to watch the show or not? Like,
That's what I'm saying.
what are y'all doing right here? And to your point about the house shows, that's true. And I thought it was interesting when TKO and Endeavor announced that they were going to eliminate, most, if not all, the house shows or reduce the house shows. And I
Mhm.
guess this is supposed to replace those. And I was like, the house shows is my bread and butter, bro. It was like parking was like $10. The shows are like $25 a piece. I could bring everybody there with me. And now that they took that away, bro, it's a lot harder to get in there, man. It's a lot
Yeah,
harder to
man.
get in there. But the first match we had on the night, it was Nia Jax versus Rhea Ripley for her championship, the Women's World Championship. So how did you feel about that match?
Um, and honestly, when you think about like Rhea Ripley's booking, and I've been kind of critical on Rhea Ripley. It's not that I don't like Rhea Ripley. I'm just not a fan of the booking, like where
Right.
everybody's she's like invincible. Nobody
Yeah.
can lay a hand on her and she sell it. Like she does not sell to the best like every other wrestler. Like you look at Liv Morgan, she did not sell for her at all when we seen those two face each other. She
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
pretty much no sold everything, and it made Liv come out looking like a joke. And you see what they're
Yeah.
doing with her now.
Yeah.
She can't even make Raw Monday Night Raw at this point. And I thought the match was cool. I mean, they have good chemistry, and I think with Nia Jax, she's probably the only on one on the roster that I feel like is the biggest threat to Rhea if we're talking about like size and strength
Yeah.
wise, because Rhea has a hard time trying to battle Nia Jax every time.
Yeah.
She literally had a hard time with her Elimination Chamber last year. Same thing can be said for last night. But we all knew Rhea was going to win. I think
Mhm.
it was probably one of the most predictable matches on the card, if we want to be honest, because
Yeah.
Rhea just won the championship back. There was no way Rhea Ripley was going to drop the title, and if she did, that probably go down as probably one of the most confusing things to ever happen in WWE. Because if you had Nia Jax beat Rhea Ripley, people are
Yeah.
going to be like, then what was the point of taking it off Liv if you were going to give it to somebody else?
Yeah, exactly. And they put Nia Jax. We talked about this last night. They put her in a lose-lose situation. She lost the title to a cash in on SmackDown, got moved over to Raw, and got thrown directly into a title match with Rhea Ripley. So if she would have won, they would have said what you just said. And she lost, so it's just like she went from one brand to another just to get up there and to lose. But to your point of saying who could be a possible threat, we got to see what's going to happen at Royal Rumble when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
the Juggernaut, because I think
Yeah,
that could
because
be the next threat.
I feel like when we're looking at the path to Mania, my personal opinion, I think whoever wins the World Rumble is going to choose Rhea,
Yeah,
because last year I think the winner chose SmackDown, and I think the year before that it was SmackDown again. Because you had
yeah,
Bailey win last year, Rhea won the year before that, and both end up choosing the SmackDown title. So I do
right.
think whoever wins this year will choose the Women's World Championship held by Rhea Ripley. Like
Yeah,
you said, Jordan Grace would be a cool match. Honestly, I think that'd be a good match for WrestleMania, or you can maybe say that for SummerSlam. I don't know, but
yeah.
me, I think Io. you gotta put EO in the
That's got to
conversation.
be the one.
I think EO is going to probably be the one to win that Royal Rumble next weekend.
And
Like,
that's going to be a great match at WrestleMania between EO and Rhea Ripley. That's
but
got to happen.
but as it's been said right now, it's possibility Jay Cargill might not be able to make Mania. So right now, there are WWE is in talks of potentially doing Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair at WrestleMania this year.
Really?
They're in talks right now as we speak.
Mm.
They're currently talking about it, and we all know we've been wanting to see this match
For a
for
while.
years.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
think we've seen these two face each other on the main roster. Maybe NXT, but main roster, no. We were supposed to get that, I think, what,
Yeah.
3 years ago in 2022, but Rhea got pulled up because of an injury,
Yeah.
so they had to pivot. So I think I would love to see the match, but I think EO deserves it a lot more.
I think the last time I remember seeing them in a like in a ring together was probably Survivor Series 2019 when they were on the NXT team. Because it was her, it was Candice LeRae,
EO.
Nia Jax, EO, not Nia Jax, Rhea Ripley, EO, yeah, and Tony Storm. They were all on the same team. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they've ever had a match against each other. If they did, I don't count the house shows, maybe some type of tag match or something. But as far as one-on-one, I don't really remember them, having a match against each other. I don't. But speaking of Royal Rumble, and I'm not going to talk about this now. We'll talk about this after Saturday Night Main Event review because I got like it's a quite a conundrum they got going on here. But as far as this match between Rhea Ripley and Nia Jax, I thought it was fast, but we had some funny moments like when Rhea Ripley was trying to put her in the prison lock. Like you ever tried to like flip over a mattress and you try to like
Yeah.
turn it over and it don't really when she tried
Nope.
to put
It
her
comes right back to you.
it goes right. That's what it looks like Rhea Ripley was doing when she was trying to put her in the prison. Like it's like her legs just wasn't folding, and it was like I
Nope.
was like, oh no. And I tried my hardest. I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna crack a joke about that. But man, that was a struggle. And then I think she did like a power bomb off the turnbuckles to Nia Jax. I was scared
Mm-hmm.
for Nia Jax because of the way she folded up. I was like,
Yeah.
ugh, ugh. But I don't know. We talked about that last night. I think the elimination chamber match was obviously better than this one.
Yeah. Chambers the better match out of these two, but this one wasn't bad,
It
but
wasn't
it
bad.
could have been a little bit better.
A little bit, yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. So I thought it was a pretty decent match, given the time that they were given, right?
Mm-hmm.
After that, was that the Braun Breaker versus Sheamus match,
It
right?
was. It was
For
Braun
the
Breaker versus
IC
Sheamus
title.
afterwards.
Yeah. So how'd you feel about that match?
I mean, these two always just seem to have good chemistry and good matches.
Yeah.
It looked like Sheamus almost was literally died in that ring because you see when he tried to jump and lunge towards Braun Breaker.
Oh
Braun
yeah.
Breaker met him with a spear, and
Oh
I'm
yeah.
like,
That
okay,
was
yep. I said, you know what, just in the match at this point. I don't think Sheamus can continue, and the match continued,
yeah.
and they made you believe that there was an opportunity that Sheamus was about to win, and I knew that they were going to do something. It going to be a close call where he's about to win it, and it happened.
Yeah.
Then Braun Breaker, had his leg out. I said, Sheamus, what are you doing? You got to get him in the middle of the ring. And it's I don't understand how some of these wrestlers. I get it. I get it. It's the way it's being presented and how they go about booking the match. But
Yeah.
still, pin your opponent in the ring. There's nothing for them to reach.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I
then,
agree.
I think a lot of people, come out of this match upset that Sheamus didn't win, but I knew that they weren't going to because I feel like they want to continue to build Sheamus up even more and build more sympathy for him, but continue to build Braun Breaker as this unstoppable force to be reckoned with. And I do think we're going to finally get that match at WrestleMania, and then Sheamus can get his moment there. And then maybe you can do like a rehash of what happened in 2016, if I'm not mistaken. We had The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler wanted that Intercontinental Championship so bad from The Miz
Yeah.
that he put his career on the line. And it was so crazy that that match main evented that pay-per-view. I can see a situation where Sheamus says, I want that championship so bad. He can put his career on the line for the championship, and we could do career versus title at WrestleMania, and then he can win the title there.
You know what's interesting about that? I kind of was when I do it like I did some fantasy booking, and I was kind of
Mm-hmm.
hoping they would do that when Seth Rollins had the World Heavyweight Championship, and if he were to face Edge at WrestleMania, I was
Yeah.
kind of hoping they would do that storyline with that because that would have been kind of like the moment of when HBK told Ric Flair like I'm sorry I love you and he hit him with the Sweet Chin Music. That could have been something they could have did something like that in there, but you know what, they could do something like that at WrestleMania. But here's the question with Sheamus. So he's been in so many IC title matches and losing them. We can go back to WrestleMania with the triple threat with
Yeah.
Gunther and Drew McIntyre. So many up to this point.
Clash.
Clash, all of those. So
Yeah.
I'm wondering how much patience do fans have, or will they get exhausted from seeing Sheamus in IC title matches over and over? Kind of like how the J fans are getting tired of him being in these championship matches.
And losing, yeah.
It's the same result every time.
Yeah. I and you have a point. I really feel like this could be at risk of fans getting tired. This
Yeah,
kind of gives me, a little bit of what happened with Rhea and Liv. People didn't mind the feud, but when they kept dragging it on just to reach this big conclusion,
yeah,
fans start to turn on it. And it wasn't because of the people involved, it was because of the booking and the constant interferences and all that type of stuff. So
right.
you're at risk of fans turning on this feud. And even though the moment will be good for Sheamus, people might not be as invested because they're tired of seeing this for so long. And you still have Braun Breaker who might come out of that and still might want a rematch. So you still have to revisit the feud again.
Over and
So
over.
I feel like we kind of don't need to continue to keep doing that. So
Mhm.
maybe Sheamus can win it. Maybe this whole transfer portal, maybe Braun Breaker could go over to SmackDown and whatnot, but he's probably going to stay on Raw, honestly. But maybe after that, he can move up to the main event scene because I think he might be a favorite to win Money in the Bank this year. But
Yeah,
yeah, you can't keep going back to the well because it seems like since I want to say SummerSlam, I feel like they've been just running Sheamus and Braun Breaker. It's been Sheamus and Braun Breaker 1-on-1, Louis Kaiser. It's just been a mixture of these three back and forth in different type of ways.
yeah,
It's just like we got to move on to someone else new at this point. Maybe
right.
insert a Penta or something. I don't know. Maybe insert a Dominic Mysterio. I don't know. You got to add more people in. You can't just be these three.
Yeah, and it kind of gives me that same feel of Chad Gable. Chad Gable going
Yeah.
after over and over and before he signed that big contract, losing over and over to Sami Zayn. At some point, people are gonna be like, "All right, we don't care no more, man.
Yeah.
Like whatever, he's not winning it. He hasn't really been doing anything significant with his stable or anything like that. So
No.
I don't know, but overall, yeah, I thought this match was great. I like any match, honestly, with Sheamus is in it because it's always going to be hard hitting. Sheamus, for some reason, at some point in the match, is always on his knees, taking shots to the chest every single time. Pause, and it's always it's always a great hard hitting match for this man. And that spear was brutal, man. And yeah, I thought it was a pretty good match. After that, we had, I think this was next, right? The Braun Strowman match.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, it was the contract signing.
the contract signing. Yes, 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 sir. Thank you, thank you. So, how
Hmm.
did you feel about the contract signing?
Dude, I ain't gonna lie. It was cool seeing Shawn Michaels out there. I mean, a Texas native. I mean, people love him. A
Yeah,
legend in the business for sure. But I knew I was when I heard Kevin Owens' music here, I said, I'm gonna see which shirt he's about to be trolling in next. He came out with the shirt that says Cody Rhodes sucks eggs. I said, okay. This man, I don't know where he gets all his shirts from. I don't know if he just gets them from WWE shop. I don't know if he just has them in his luggage because
yeah.
he had Naomi on SmackDown. And I'm like, oh, this man is just trolling everybody now. He
Hmm.
had Dusty Rhodes shirt on. He about to be, he taking like trolling with shirts to a whole new level.
I love it.
Like, usually you see people trolling on social media. No, he's trolling people wearing their shirts or
Yeah,
people that they're cool with shirts. And I'm like, okay, he comes out with that on. Then you got Cody Rhodes. You always call him a Super Saiyan Pastor, which you're right. He coming out with the all black on, but I like what they're doing with Cody Rhodes, and it gives me some type of hope that he might be turning heel very, very soon. Because the way he's been presented, you can tell that he's on the verge of potentially snapping at some point.
yep.
And they tease this like on SmackDown with Damian Priest. He says, "I'll see you around, champ." And I feel like at some point in time, maybe when we get to that feud, maybe that's at where we see Cody Rhodes snap, and he just goes like he just hits a new gear. I feel like, but I do think this match is going to be cool.
Yeah,
I think what's going to happen is we're probably going to get a new championship design because we even said it last night. The championship that Cody Rhodes is wearing, it was meant for literally none other than Roman. So maybe we do see a title that's implemented for none other than Cody.
Yeah,
Maybe it is the winged eagle title, but with the a modern design. I know they've been showing pictures all over social media for like since he came back of like a winged eagle title, but with the American logo in it and it's all white strap. I could see them
facts.
doing something like that, and it's meant for him. And then maybe once he loses, we can go back to the WWE Championship. Not this one. I don't want the McDonald's Championship.
Yeah,
I want
no.
the WWE Championship, the one that you were seeing AJ hold and Seth hold and Ambrose and Mox and all those people. Bring that design back because I was okay with that championship, even though it overstayed its welcome, but it still worked. It didn't. It was simple. It didn't do anything too much, and you know WWE, they're going to want that type of championship just for the simple fact branding. They're really big on branding, so you're gonna want that championship. So
100%. Yeah, I agree. I think that's most likely what's going to happen because we talked about this yesterday. Cody
yeah,
Rhodes is the person they want to introduce that new title. They want that on his resume, and I wouldn't be surprised if they come out with like a limited edition white strapped new version of the title with the American Nightmare logo on the straps itself. I wouldn't be surprised if they did something like that. But I agree with you. As far as Kevin Owens, it's like he took what Drew McIntyre did with the t-shirts and his feud with CM Punk and took it up to a whole nother level with it.
yeah.
And for those in the chat who don't know, I can't see the chats right now, but the shirt that Kevin Owens was wearing was what Terry Funk wore when he had a feud against Dusty Rhodes, where he said Dusty
Hmm.
sucks eggs. So Kevin Owens wore that shirt to troll Cody Rhodes to remind him of his dad. And I feel like everybody does it, right? Seth Rollins came out with the Dusty Rhodes
People
spotted.
just like to. I don't know what it is. I don't know who Cody like pissed off though, but people
Yeah,
just don't like Cody and they just want to troll him.
they get to
And
the dad every
and
time,
and
man.
I literally was in watching this. I'm saying, Shawn Michaels, you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. You're in the midst of Kevin Owens.
Hmm.
Kevin Owens, I didn't knew Kevin Owens was just gonna throw strays at Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels was just catching strays just for being there.
Yeah, he had to. He was in San Antonio. Kevin's in his petty era right now. So he had to take and Shawn Michaels didn't have to say nothing. He said, "Bro, I think you're being jealous." And once he said that, I'm like, "All right, you just
Who are
gave
you
Kevin the
talking
green
to?
light, bro. You just gave him the green light, my boy." But I agree. We're getting hints of Cody Rhodes turning heel. We've seen that in pretty much every feud he's had in post him winning the title at WrestleMania 40. That towards the end of the feuds, he just started crashing out and just having these random brawls. What or even before, even with Brock Lesnar, we've seen it happen with AJ Styles when he almost smashed his head with those stairs. He almost turned
He
into
threw
AJ
it.
Ketchup. Yeah, he remember he was in the I Quit
He
match.
yeah, he literally AJ said I quit,
Yeah.
but Cody didn't care. He still threw the steel steps. I'm like, what are you doing?
He tried to kill that man, tried to turn him to AJ Ketchup, and then you see him with Kevin Owens, and then he just now he's starting to crash out and run into the crowd and fight this guy. So I think I like the fact that they're planting these seeds little by little. That saying that Cody Rhodes is not this perfect person that he portrays to be, but once pushed to the edge, he's gonna get there. And now the question is, who's gonna make him go over that edge? Will it be Randy Orton? Will it be the Wyatt Six since they're now on SmackDown? Will it like who could be that
I
person to
mean,
turn
you
him heel?
could do that Wyatt Six stuff because if you don't remember, back in the original days of NXT, Bray Wyatt was the rookie and pretty much Cody Rhodes was the mentor. That
Yeah,
would have
yep,
been a
yep.
cool feud if they
It
were to have that happen.
right.
Maybe you could do the closest thing you can and maybe do like an Uncle Howdy versus Cody. But I do think it's probably going to be Randy Orton that might push him over the edge because I feel like with these
Yeah.
two having a lot of history going back to the legacy days, I think if anybody can push him over the edge and make him become unhinged, it might just be Randy Orton. And plus,
Mhm.
he even teased it even on SmackDown. He literally said, I'm a student of Randy Orton. So they might do that student versus teacher storyline. And you can even say Roman Reigns has brought out the worst in Cody Rhodes. Many of these wrestlers have brought out the worst of Cody, and I feel like it's all gonna catch up and it continue to keep boiling over to where he
Mhm.
just completely snaps.
He's gonna have to. But the interesting thing about Roman Reigns and his feud with Cody Rhodes, before The Rock got there, it was pretty professional. They didn't really do anything outside of the ring. He didn't really attack him outside the ring. They kept all the insults in the ring on the
Hmm.
mic. But other people like The Rock, Kevin Owens, anyone else, they've all did stuff outside of the ring. They attacked them
I
outside
think
of the ring.
Drew McIntyre, if he, I think with him probably being on SmackDown now, he might say something,
He
and
could be the
people
other one. Yeah,
a lot of people don't know who's going to defeat Cody. If you want me to be honest with the way they're pushing him right now, I say Drew McIntyre might be the one to do it.
it
If you
could
want to
be.
be honest,
It could
There's
be.
stories there, two guys who left the WWE and made their names outside of the company and came back bigger than ever, and both went on to win World Rumbles and the World Championship. So
Hmm.
I think the story writes itself.
And they could also do a callback too. I don't know which, I forget which Royal Rumble it was, where the final four was Triple H and Legacy. Remember Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton was
Yeah,
there
I think
and
that was
Ted DiBiase Jr.
2009,
2000,
I
I think it
believe.
was 2000. Yeah, I think it was.
2009.
I think it
I think
was.
it had to be 2009.
And they helped Randy Orton win that Royal Rumble, right? So I wonder if they're gonna
Mm-hmm.
call back to that if they have the feud. Because remember, Cody Rhodes gave Kevin Owens multiple championship opportunities, but never once thought about Randy Orton. Never once thought about giving him an opportunity.
You got a
Remember?
point.
So I wonder if they can mix that into the feud and then have that happen later. But
Mm-hmm.
as far as the contract signing, I thought it was cool, right? I felt like I still felt like it could have happened on the Go Home show at SmackDown, but it was cool to see Shawn Michaels do a Sweet Chin Music nowadays. Even though it looked like his knees hurt after that when he did, but but hey, if he got to try to get back in the ring, man, however way he can, I'm not mad at that at all, bro. I'm not
Yeah.
mad at that at all. So after that, we had the Braun Breaker versus Braun Strowman. It's too many Browns, bro. Braun Strowman
Man,
and Jacob Fatu. What'd you think about that match, man?
this was an all-out car wreck. I knew
Yeah.
these two were just going to. I'm thinking we was going to see the ring explode. I thought they were going to be the first two to break the table or even
Oh
go through
yeah.
the barricade. Like you see, Braun Strowman, he's tuning up the band. He's going around in circles. He runs into Jacob Fatu the first time, but Jacob Fatu is a man on a mission right now.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
man is someone you do not want to mess with.
For sure.
And it makes me revert back to a time I was watching SmackDown, I think in 2011 or 12, when you had Booker T on commentary. And I think it was during the Hall of Pain gimmick when Mark Henry was there. And I think Mark Henry went up to Booker T and said, "You said something slick you just now." And then Booker T goes back into commentary. He says, "I showed you. See, sometimes he says, sometimes when a bear runs up on you, just go to a field position. Just
Yeah.
I showed you how to survive. Put your hands up. This is what you do when you see Jacob Fatu. Just put your
Yeah.
hands up. You don't move. You
Yeah.
don't run. You don't even blink. Just stand there. Just stand in the field position."
Yeah, just stand there and
And
die. That's all you could do.
exactly. But like they're literally building Jacob Fatu to be a world champion eventually. I think that's the angle. He is probably going to win a championship this year.
It makes
Regardless
no
if it's
sense for
world
nothing else to
championship
happen.
or US or IC,
Hmm.
he's gonna win a championship.
He got
And I feel like Jacob, it would kind of suck to see him like be DQ'd in the match because I felt like either it was going to go one or two ways. Either Jacob Fatu was going to outright win the match, or we would have seen potentially like a double count out or like something along the lines of that, or both get DQ'd.
hmm
But Jacob Fatu, when he saw blood, he just kept going.
kept going.
And then you had the referees and then the security guards come out there. The security guard even caught it straight. He got a chair to the face for no reason. I'm like, what are we doing?
He shouldn't have been there.
Somebody stop this man. Somebody stop this man. Somebody put him in jail. Do something.
That's
Press
why as security,
charges.
if you running out for security for Jacob Fatu, let somebody else go in there first. You
Yeah,
don't need to be the first
I'm
person there.
I'm not doing it. I'm
He only
I'm
got
good.
one chair. He got one chair. It's gonna
He
hit one
punched it.
person.
He
Yeah,
threw it.
he
He didn't
threw it.
even. You see some people like will literally hit you with a chair. No, he launched it at you.
Yeah.
I haven't seen nothing like this since Brock Lesnar threw like one of the office chairs at one of the referees. I'm like, what are we doing?
I don't know if him and Liv Morgan got the same training with chairs at the performance center. Because remember, Liv did that to Rhea Ripley backstage.
They
They are
have to.
just first
They
being them
have to.
chairs.
They probably got to be going to some type of trainer for that, like where they just be throwing chairs and stuff and just letting out the anger.
He like,
That's
I'm
what
not
they got to
walking
be
all the way up
doing.
there. Pow.
No, I'm
But
not.
yeah, it was crazy. I honestly I understood the DQ, even though I wanted Jacob
Hmm.
Fatu to win clean, because they still want to protect Braun Strowman. And I think
Yeah,
that's why. And I think they still want to portray him as this baby face. So in order to do so, one person trying to wrestle the proper way, the other person tried to kill the man. He said, "Hey, you're bleeding. That's not enough blood for me, brother. I need more." So he just kept hitting him with the hip thrust, kept hitting him with a moonsault with security standing right there. Even Tama Tonga was trying to stop him. That's how unhinged he got.
I feel like what's gonna happen is at Mania. I feel like he's gonna be in some type of match in WrestleMania. I
Mhm.
think it's gonna be Jacob versus Solo. I think that's the match we're gonna see at WrestleMania this year because
Yeah.
I feel like Solo is probably either gonna come back at the Rumble, maybe be in the Rumble probably,
Mm-hmm.
or sometime after that. And then I feel like Jacob being unhinged now, I feel like it might end up with Solo being one of the victims in the coming weeks as we head into WrestleMania, because you got to think he lost to Ulafala.
Yeah.
And when you don't have that, everybody around you don't see you the same. They saw you as the leader, but now they just see you as an equal to them.
Right.
So now you're gonna have Jacob Fatu probably trying to put this man on ice and try to send him packing. But
Yeah.
we're gonna see that. I feel like that's what's the story that we're gonna see. Jacob, he says, "I love you, Solo." I think the next time we see him, he's gonna say, "I hate you, Solo," and boom,
Mm-hmm.
super kick.
He's gonna and you know what's really interesting even more about this is two things. We saw on Twitter that Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu, they said blood in, blood out. I don't know if you saw that. They
Yeah.
all tweeted that. And then after that, we saw Braun Strowman bleeding as much as he did at Saturday night's main event. So I feel like, and I could be off on this, but I feel like the story that they're telling, because Roman Reigns lost his Ulafala, and then Solo Sikoa was like, oh, he wasn't brutal enough. That's why he didn't take care of business. So Solo got a little bit more brutal than Roman Reigns. He lost his Ulafala. Then Jacob is taking the brutality to a whole nother level
Yeah.
because he probably feels like Solo wasn't brutal enough for him. And then
Yeah.
once he faces Roman Reigns, it's the complete opposite sides of the spectrum going against each other in the match. And that's going to be interesting to see how Roman Reigns handled that entire situation. That's going to be a good match. I'm looking forward to
Mm-hmm.
that, man. I'm looking forward to it. Um, the next one we had was it was
Main event.
the main
Main
event,
event.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
World Heavyweight Championship between Gunther and Jay Uso. So how'd you feel about this match?
I thought it was a good match, actually. I mean,
Yeah,
it seems like every time we see Jey Uso and Gunther, they always have good matches.
yeah,
It's just like you said, it's always predictable. Like Jay is not gonna win, and a lot of fans are upset. Like right now, it's like, how many times do we have to keep putting Jay in these world title matches, and him coming up short every single time? You got to
yeah.
think this goes literally back to 2020. He came up short against Roman. He came up short against Gunther. He came up short many times when it comes to these world title matches. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like for Jay, he proved he even though he lost, I feel like he still came out with a W, because now he proved that he belongs in the main event scene with that performance. And I think the story that you tell throughout this year is him being in the conversation, and then maybe at next year's Royal Rumble, I think he has a good case to win, because if you think how Saudi Arabia operates, they're going to want to have the people who get the biggest pops to win these matches. And you cannot deny Jey Uso gets some of the biggest pops in WWE, period, point blank. And I feel
Right.
like at that point, you can have him become world champion, because you got to think a lot of people might not be in Saudi Arabia because, their beliefs or whatnot. CM Punk even already made it clear he's not going to be at the Royal Rumble. He said he's not going to be in Saudi Arabia. He does not want to compete there.
For
So
2026, right?
yeah.
Okay.
So I do think Jay might get an opportunity, but I feel like maybe you make him Mr. Money in the Bank. I think a lot of people would be okay with him at least winning Money in the Bank. He could cash in at some point and become world champion. I think
Mm-hmm.
he's going to probably win that world championship by the end of this year, or probably some point next year. I think we are on the road to that. It's just going to take some time, because you're
Mm-hmm.
not going to take the title of Gunther so close to WrestleMania. You want him to go in as champion. So
Right.
it sucks for Jay, and I wanted to see him win. It made a very close call where he almost did it, but you got to go a couple more times. When he hit that splash, I told myself, Jay, you need to go back for a couple more times to put Gunther away. You literally hit him with like a couple spears. I'll give you that, but you
Yeah.
need to go back to the top rope and hit him at least another 2 or 3 times, and then try to go for the pin,
Right.
because Gunther is on another level right now.
He
So
is.
we will see him as win championship gold eventually.
He's got to win it at some point, and I wonder if they're gonna put him in a match against Jacob Fatu at some point as well. If they want to make something a little interesting, as far as the whole situation goes. I don't know how they'll get there, but that
Mm-hmm.
will be kind of interesting. But I do. And speaking of the Braun Strowman match, it's kind of the same for Gunther. The way that Braun Strowman allowed Jacob Fatu to go over that way and make the other person looks strong, that's how you utilize your giants, especially if they're going to be a baby face. Gunther in this match, I like when Gunther's in a match with anyone small because I love them playing that whole
Yeah.
David and Goliath match. I'm not saying it's on the same level, but like Brock Lesnar versus Daniel Bryan, Brock Lesnar versus Finn Balor, Brock
Yes,
versus CM
sir.
Punk, Brock versus John Cena. I love seeing when there's the big guy versus a small guy because the story is already baked in, so you don't even have to go too deep into that. But I thought it was pretty fun. I thought it was pretty good. I knew that Jay wasn't going to win it here, given the fact of how fast they built this up. They just did 2 promos and boom, we're in a title match. And
True.
it's Saturday night's main event. Even though it would have been cool to see it happen here for the show itself, I just felt like we're so close to Royal Rumble. We're so close to WrestleMania. I don't know if they want to put Jey Uso in the main event at WrestleMania 41. Like, so I can't see him
No,
winning that title and then losing it like at Royal Rumble or after Royal Rumble that fast. It just wouldn't have made any sense. So
people would have
I
been upset if that had happened.
yeah, because it would have been the IC title all over again. Like,
Now, if this was SummerSlam later this year and they decide to book this match for SummerSlam this year,
yeah,
then we can make a good case that Jay might actually win it.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
at
yeah.
that point, Gunther's been champion for about a year.
Hmm.
So I think if it was SummerSlam, he probably will win. But right now, since we're very close to WrestleMania, like you said, they're not going to want to put the title on him because then, like you said, it'd be like the IC title. They had him hold it for maybe less than a month and then took it right back.
Hmm.
Yeah, people are still upset about it. People have been way more upset that if he won the world championship and then lost it literally before the Rumble or
Yeah.
even like Chamber.
Yeah, because we all know once you lose it that fast, we're probably not going to see him around or with the title for a long time, if
Nope.
ever again. So that just was like, all right, it's like WWE saying, "All right, y'all, shut up here. He got it already. Relax." Right. But here's the thing. Here's the conundrum I have for you, and has something to do with Royal Rumble and going into WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
And in chat, we may say some stuff that's like off, so just bear with us. We just trying to figure this out in a moment because I just thought about this before you got on the stream. The whole situation with CM Punk, right? Let's
Mm-hmm.
say I feel like he's not going to win the Royal Rumble. You say he is. It is a possibility that he can't. I feel like something's going to happen with him and Seth. But either way, how is this? If this is the plan to get him versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, how is that going to happen? That's the question. Because let's say Seth doesn't go into WrestleMania with a championship. If
Mm-hmm.
CM Punk wins Royal Rumble or wins Elimination Chamber, how does that
Which
make that match?
you make a good point, but there's different things at play here. Now we
Okay.
still have that favor with CM Punk, right?
And I was
So
going to go to that.
we don't know what that is.
Hmm.
Now, from what I have been hearing from at least the majority of people, what's probably going to potentially be happening at Mania, there's 3 options right now on the table that they're probably going to go with.
Okay.
And one of them is straight up doing Seth Rollins and Gunther one-on-one, which will be a good match because we haven't seen
Really
that.
good match. That's going to be a good
And
match.
then you have Roman and Punk because you got to think that there's going to probably be some things that's going to be tied up with those two. So maybe you do that.
Hmm.
But you got to also understand not Cody Rhodes, but CM Punk made it very clear when he came back to win the Royal Rumble. He came back to main event a WrestleMania.
Hmm.
So maybe that favor is potentially putting him in a championship match where he maybe does win and doesn't even have to win the Royal Rumble. You
Okay.
could do that. Or you do a triple threat where Gunther, Punk, Rollins all get wrapped up into that thing. Or you even add a Drew McIntyre because Drew McIntyre, you maybe do a fatal 4-way. I think that'd be cool too. And
Hmm.
the other one that's been thrown around, I don't think, well, actually 2 other things that's been thrown around. I don't agree with either, especially one of them. And one of them is Goldberg winning the Royal Rumble to set up.
No.
No, please don't. I saw that.
No.
I said, you know what? I want to turn off my television screen after that when I heard that. I said, no, do not do that. If you have Goldberg come back, win the Royal Rumble, and face it for the championship, I guarantee you there will be an uproar. That crowd will be in an uproar if he were to win that match. Nobody
Yeah.
wants to see that. And the
Nobody
other
wants to see
one,
that.
the other one, now, granted, I think this will be a good match, but I don't want to see it. And that is none other than Gunther defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Logan Paul. Now, the
Okay.
match will be good, but I
Yeah.
don't think people want the idea of Logan Paul being the one to defeat Gunther for the World Championship. I don't think people want that as a reality.
Right. What? Okay, so here's the thing. Um, this is what I'm thinking. And I haven't thought
Mhm.
this all the way through because I just thought about it before we got on the stream.
Mhm.
So, in order to get CM Punk versus Seth Rollins, let's say Seth Rollins somehow eliminates CM Punk and they eliminate each other at Royal Rumble, and then neither one of them win that elimination chamber either. Now they can still have their match, but let's say somehow, some way, Roman Reigns ends up as one of the main events again, whether it be him winning in Chamber, which I don't think he will, but him being the main event in one of the shows. Now, what if the favor is that he tells Paul Heyman, like, hey, speak to Roman Reigns, ask him, you know, can I take his spot as the main event in that show? Now, let's say Roman Reigns is being, kind of like, I don't want to just give it to him, but we all know Roman Reigns have had tons of main events. He doesn't need another one. He's had almost all
Dude,
of them, so
this
many.
better be night one.
Yeah,
This better be night one. If they doing Roman Reigns this year, it better be night one. It does
yeah,
not need to be night two. No, no,
right,
no, no.
right,
But like you
right.
said, I think maybe CM Punk eliminates Roman from the Royal Rumble, or even
Could be
Seth eliminates Roman. Because you got to think Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns could have a match at WrestleMania if you really want it to be. Because
good,
people been wanting it for years since the
right.
moment the Shield has broken up. Right,
Hmm.
people have been clamoring to see Seth and Roman one on one at a WrestleMania. And I think it's a realistic possibility that no one's really talking about, especially with how the main event of WrestleMania 40 played out.
Right.
Roman lost his championship because he was focused on Rollins. Rollins
Yeah.
was the reason Roman lost focus, allowing an opening for Cody to beat Roman to become champion.
What if this happens as well? And that's a good idea. Now, what if this happens as well? What if CM Punk does win the Royal Rumble, like you said, but no, actually, what if Seth Rollins wins the Royal Rumble, right? And I know
I
this is
think
CM
that.
Punk's story. What if he selects Gunther and we get that match at WrestleMania, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then CM Punk wins the Elimination Chamber. Now, I know this goes against everything as far as wrestling logic, but I feel like with Triple H, he kind of mixes things up a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So, what if CM Punk is like, okay, well, I got this Elimination Chamber. I want to face whoever beats Gunther versus Seth Rollins on night 2. So then CM Punk goes against whoever the champion. That could be Seth Rollins. It could be CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. CM Punk finally gets his main event that he's always wanted, and they can finally tie up the feud between him and Seth Rollins on night 2.
Mm-hmm.
What if we get that? But I don't know if I want to see Seth Rollins in 2 main events, right? Like I don't know
No,
how I feel about
he
that.
kind of did two matches last year because he did the
Yeah,
tag match,
yeah,
and then you also got to understand we don't know what the card is going to look like because at any point in time, Rock can say, "Well, I'm going to be at WrestleMania." Then boom, we're back to square one because now he's going to shuffle up the whole entire card,
right,
and whatnot. So you got to still worry about that X factor because
right.
people still want to see Roman and Rock face each other in a passing of the torch moment.
Yeah, yeah.
So it really depends on when we're going to get that. But I feel like that might be saved for WrestleMania 42 next year. The way they're
Or
doing it right now, it just doesn't seem likely. But
oh,
anything
yeah,
can happen. So I
yeah,
really feel like we could see CM Punk face Roman this year if we're not going to do Roman and Rock this year. If Roman and Rock are not going to face each other and that's off the table, CM Punk might be the next biggest option
right.
because you got to think that there is story there. That favor is still in play. Maybe the story or the favor is I want a WrestleMania main event match, and he gets a WrestleMania main event match,
Hmm.
but against Roman, maybe on a night one,
Yeah,
and then maybe whoever wins the Royal Rumble gets the opportunity or something like that. Because I feel like the Royal Rumble winner should realistically get the main events
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
of both nights.
Hmm.
But realistically, that's not really the case because at least for the women, they
Yeah.
usually get like the co-main event at best. So I feel like that's going to be the same thing again
Hmm.
because you could do CM Punk Roman night one, then maybe whoever else wins the Royal Rumble maybe on night two.
Yeah, and that's why it's like so like kind of confusing, which is a good thing because I don't know where, and we don't have to stay on this too much longer, but because I feel like because we already got this stuff going on with CM Punk and Seth, so it's like okay, how are we gonna tie up this whole thing? How are we gonna end
Mm-hmm.
this, right? But then at the same time, we got the Royal Rumble, so we don't know who's gonna win that. So if CM
Yeah.
Punk wins that, he has to face the champion. He can't go against Seth, who is not a champion. So then it's like, how are we gonna do that? And the other thing that comes to mind is when CM Punk, after he had the match against Drew McIntyre at Bad Blood on Monday Night Raw when he said, "I don't know how long my body can last." I'm like, I feel like that there is a retirement speech coming pretty soon. So it makes you wonder, how much time does he have left, before he calls it quits? So I'm like, is the favor he asked from Paul Heyman, maybe it is a match with Roman Reigns, maybe it is a main event thing, or maybe it's something not as sexy. Maybe it's something more sentimental, as like, Paul, when I have this main event at WrestleMania, I want you to come out there with me. It could be something like that. I don't know. I don't know. It's really hard to pick, but yeah, I don't know how they're gonna. However way they do the CM Punk Steph thing, I don't know how they're gonna figure it out. I really don't know. Like,
Yeah.
it's gonna be very interesting to see how they end this feud with all these different, situations happening here. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Royal Rumble's next week, so that'll give us a lot of clarity on there. But
And you're gonna be there live, so you're gonna probably
yeah,
get to see all the action pretty much happen. So
if CM Punk wins, I'm gonna go crazy. I'm
who
gonna go
wouldn't?
crazy. I'm going to go crazy, man. But yeah, so you know what? I got 3 videos, man, we could check out together. So
Let's do it.
we got 3. Okay, so we got 2 from WrestleMania. I don't know if you've seen these already. One is 10 stale WWE stars who desperately need a new gimmick.
Yes, sir. I actually reacted to that one, but we
Oh,
can
you did
react
that
to
one?
it.
All
Yeah,
right.
we can react to it still. It don't matter.
Okay. And then we got 10 moments that made Triple H go off script in WWE. And then we got one that just came out. I don't know if I'm gonna get copyrighted for this one, but it came out by BDWJ Forever. Oh my God, Wrestling Highlights Part 110. It just came out like an hour ago.
We might have to do the oh my God moments first.
Yeah, we're gonna do that first.
Yeah.
Okay,
For
hold
sure,
on. Let me share my screen then. Oh, I see. See, it's weird because they don't let you see the chat. Okay. Oh my God. Oh my God. Let me know if you can hear this real quick.
Listen to this.
Yeah, I can hear it.
You can hear it? Is it too loud?
No, it's good. It sounds good to me.
Listen to this.
Okay, cool. All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, this for the YouTube. What's going on, wrestling family? Welcome back to the channel. We are going to react to Oh My God Wrestling Highlights Part 110 with my guy Kicking It with Leo. Before we get started, guys, go to his channel, hit the like button, subscribe button on his channel. I'm gonna leave the link in the description. Let's get into this.
Listen to this. Oh my God!
Here we go.
Things around here somehow, as the door is now on fire.
Oh!
Cover!
What? He kicked out of that?
How'd a fire go off so fast?
You're right, David. It seems to be
Oh, no,
fueling it
no.
on.
Ah!
Spear through the tubes and through Manslaughter. Oh,
Bro, it's so hard to walk on ropes and your legs are like
places
that.
that chair
No,
in
Left leg is
I'm
done.
falling off
and
off
Effie
rip.
off the chair.
Oh!
And into a spider net.
Looming there.
Oh, TNA Genesis.
It's not illegal to loom though. Oh my God.
Yeah, I remember that spot.
Holy hell!
That's so nasty.
Wind it up. Look out here. My God, using the momentum of Priest.
What straight from Damien?
Oh, Rhino. DPW.
Like a baby.
Leon Slater.
To his mama.
Ooh.
Commanders.
Ooh.
Yo, he got whiplash with that.
Oh,
Wait a
Lord.
minute.
This
Off
match.
the top, the all-the-way slam from the top.
He got a lot of stuff going on in Genesis.
You want to be a wrestler? You want to be a
Got the
referee?
races in the
I'm a
ring.
wrestler. I lead by example.
Oh! Golf's leading by example.
Oh, that lariat.
Ichiban, his chest led the rest of his body crashing down to the mat.
he doesn't see him.
Oh
Nick,
no!
Nick, he's gonna get it one way or the other.
He's getting it all right. Oh, coast to coast from Fuego to Mander.
Yeah, that's right. If she says it, she means it. Oh, there you go. There's the.
Do your
Oh, no.
stretches.
Oh, no.
Young
No,
wrestlers,
no,
do your
no.
stretches. It'll save you.
Oh, look at this crowd. He picks her up from the
Whoa.
splits deadlift.
He picked her up.
Oh, twat hammer. One.
Look at the cage.
Always the Young Bucks doing something crazy.
We're talking about Eddie Guerrero a lot tonight. That was a tactic. We know it.
Josh Alexander.
The ring to get the advantage.
Break something.
Oh, yeah. guy's neck is done.
Last ring in hand.
Why is his underwear so high?
I guess this is. Oh, wait, no!
Steph DeLander. Spears. Cole Radrick.
He's looking for a seven bridge with the superplex. Oh my goodness! Seven bridge superplex.
Fighting for the advantage up top.
Oh!
Wait, Leo, you're not muted, are you?
Through the
No. I'm not
Oh,
muted.
okay, my bad.
tables out on the floor.
Oh! Didn't miss the target that time.
Yes, there is a
Oh,
tremendous
Rosemary
legacy.
Slamovich.
Rosemary. Oh, Slamovich upping the ante.
Crazy spots
Later
in
able
Genesis.
to roll through, gets kicked off. And I mean,
Wow.
but Vegan Westbrook gives it right back.
Stop playing. This is the first match with Kikin, and I'm already excited. I'm gonna sit down. Live action going for a
Oh man.
wire net. Corner. And now gut wrench. Through the glass.
What? Why do they do this though?
Oh, excuse me. Oh, not the Legos.
Are those Legos?
Yes.
That's it.
Oh, she should go to prison for that.
Evil intentions at hand.
Oh, he ate that.
Shakes it off.
Who said I'd take those?
DDT.
Leo Rush flex the lariat, springs through, kick to the midsection. And
Leo
Zaguri
Rush.
does not bring Keith.
Leo
Lee
Rush
up.
before he went to NXT.
Leo Rush just incredibly well. And Tate.
Girl.
The coast from Tate Mayfair's.
Okay.
What is she going for here? Big roundhouse kick. Going for that packet. No! Who's gonna get? I know. Oh! Folding powerbomb and oh my!
Oh, I
Walking
thought
out
it
of
was
the corner with him. Oh! Launched through the
They
door.
are obsessed with their.
Man, choke slam back first on the chairs.
Bro.
Both near the
On a spear, Slamovich sent into the tax.
He knows why he's kicking you in a certain place. He's just not kicking there because it's open. He's inflicting damage.
I feel like Mike Bailey's in a lot of these clips.
I hope he don't go to AW though. I'm gonna be honest.
Shoulder. Cage catches. Pops him up. Deep sea diverticulitis. Now gorilla press. Into the back fist. Discus lariat.
again by Jordan Grace. Back and forth these two go. Look out!
This match again.
They're trying to hook the arms. Oh, wait a minute. Blanchard getting the better.
Below.
Parker all
No,
the way
no,
up.
Swanton
no.
through both Maki and the Duke of Hardcore.
The Duke of Hardcore.
Take a look at pile drive, Jake through the floor.
We've only had one elimination. Oh, big eye strike.
What was that? Oh,
Oh, holding TVT on the floor. Are you kidding me?
that move is
Staggers
always
and Leo
scary.
Rush comes in. Popped up onto Trent's shoulders and reverse hook on Rana. Trent had no idea it was coming. Roundhouse kick.
Oh man.
Valley driver.
Price rebounds. Now for the lariat, avoided by Koo. Regal Plex with the
Oh, that was nasty.
assist dumps.
Joining us here. Max the Impaler. Oh my lord. No posting
Oh yeah,
necessary.
Maxie and Paler.
Not having win knocked right out.
Did you hear that she got mad at what's her name from Viking Raiders because she said she's still on it?
I was just about to say that because they look alike.
And Max with Casey. Oh,
Hey. The windows to the walls.
Buckles. Are you kidding me? Oh my God.
Oh my God! Oh no! Oh, that snowplow into the bar
A lot of Genesis highlights.
That's gotta be. Oh, the kick out.
Can maintain balance. Who's gonna get the
Please, YouTube gods, please don't hit me with a copy strike, please.
Still in the front, transferring on the top.
Oh, he almost didn't get it.
Stalling! Suplex powerbomb combination by Keith Lee. He pops Leo Rush up. Spirit
Dang.
bomb! 1, 2, no! Justin
He laid down on
Thomas
top of the ref.
only 2.
He like, ref, please save me.
Uh-oh.
I don't want any more.
Now, Austin with the fold on the outside.
Whoa, Blake Christian
Okay.
all the way up top.
450? Oh, what the rubber? You
Oh, he
hit
stepped
it.
on him.
Doing, Ricky, what you doing?
I said it again. He's built
Like
different
Christian.
eyes. Oh, cactus elbow from Arcade Jack.
Suplex.
Oh no.
Wait, 450. Oh, Canadian Destroyer from DeReese.
Place has got Blanchard up.
This match again?
Hey, Leo, this match that good, huh?
Apparently, if they keep showing it.
First position for both competitors.
Oh no. No.
Oh
No.
my God.
Death Valley driver to the floor.
Time limit. Fuck! Jesus Christ! Oh, fuck me!
Yo.
Wasteland! Oh, Jesus! 1, 2, and no! How?
But
He's just stretching out everything.
Who is this?
oh, Havoc up.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Wait a minute.
She lucky because if he would have landed on her,
Oh, I think Bishop's head just went off the top of that steel post. CPA's got him up. Sends him over the Death Valley driver. You're going to be kidding me. And CPA picks up the win.
I like these kind of indie shows where it's like super small,
Yeah.
got a lot of people in there.
Of Slamovich now.
Oh no.
Oh my God.
Oh, he got the Jeff Hardy treatment.
Slamovich through the table.
Are you kidding me?
What is happening?
Two grown men.
Thomas Shire with 2 men on his shoulders.
What is going on?
God, torture rack helicopter blast. Kidding. No, get here. Got him.
My money is still on Rio. Let's go, Rio. Thank you so much, Astro Knight. And absolutely, I love both these women, but I want to see Rio do this. She deserves it. A huge power bomb.
I don't know who those are.
That is
Time.
Oh, Marcus.
Oh,
Double spring. Oh my God.
that's scary.
Oh my God. Casey.
Why do they
Pounding those guys.
do these spots, man? I don't get it.
Go. Casey Jacobs is hardcore. Casey.
Oh,
Oh, right into the present.
into the present.
Turns out Ricky Shane Page is in the box cover.
Then Casey by the throat. Oh, God damn it! Music. If we don't play the music,
Is she still wrestling? She got to come to WWE.
I think so.
Hold on. Double header cover. Cole Johnson, number 1 contender to the national title.
Wait a second. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, Red
No.
Graham into the steel chairs. Good God. Slamovich wins the clock.
He's thinking about it.
No. No. Not on the ladder.
Through the ladder goes Drew Parker.
What kind of ladder snap like
Holding
that?
on.
Effie with Vance Warner. Super.
Oh, I'm surprised none of that got in anybody's eyes.
You
That's
could
nuts,
not pay
man.
me to take some of these spots.
I
I'm
can't do
sorry.
that.
After that, I'm going straight to
I
the
can't, bro.
chiropractor right afterwards. I'm sorry, I can't. You hit you
I can't take
the
those spots.
fire spot? Really? The first thing we see is somebody set up a door on fire, and then what are we doing?
That fire went off pretty good. It went off fast. I don't know if you got like some fire resistant like underwear on
You
or something.
had to
But it
be.
just as soon as he got slammed on it.
You had to be wearing some type of fire resistant gear for it to go out like that.
Yeah. That's nuts, man. I can't do it. I cannot do it. So you want to do the 10 wrestler who desperately
Yeah.
need a new
Yes,
gimmick.
sir.
What am I saying? All right, let's do that. Do share screen. This restream thing is not bad. It's pretty all right. All right, so this is for YouTube. YouTube guys, we're gonna check out 10 stale WWE stars who desperately need a new gimmick. I'm doing it with Kicking It with Leo. Go ahead and subscribe to his channel. I'm gonna have all his information in the description box below. Let's get this man to 1K. Let's get
10
into it.
WWE wrestlers who desperately need a new gimmick. Number 10, Apollo Crews. Now, Apollo Crews has been on the WWE main roster for almost a decade, and in that time, Crews has gone through various character reinventions and gimmicks, but none of them have truly catapulted the talented star to the next level. Crews had a semi-successful run in NXT before he was recalled back up to the main roster in 2023. Yet Crews returned with no purpose. When Baron Corbin came to an end, Crews was left lingering around without anything to do. Crews urgently needs a new character that lets his ability shine, and this is something that Triple H and the creative team should put focus on during 2025. Crews has a lot to offer. Basically, a seasoned enhancement talent is doing him a massive disservice.
So what do you think about that, Leo?
And it's true because it's like, if you go back to what he was doing in the pandemic, right? He was US champion. He wanted to become Intercontinental champion and had, the Nigerian gimmick. That was really cool. And as soon as they went right back to having full capacity fans, he dropped the title almost instantly and hasn't recovered since. So he has the look, but he just does not have the character to like really push him to that next level.
No, yeah, I agree. And he's really talented in the ring. So the fact that they can't find a character, like that one time when he took a trip to Wakanda when he was down in NXT, when he had that group behind him. I think other than that, and him having a tag team with Baron Corbin was probably the best things he's done recently. But yeah, I agree. He's just getting beat up everywhere.
His gimmick is being a snitch.
He got destroyed by
his gimmick is really being a snitch and getting beat by the bloodline.
He is the living embodiment of snitches get stitches. That's just what he does now. That's it. I don't know why they do this to this man, but hopefully they figure something out.
Austin Theory. One of the most frustrating storylines of 2024 centered around Austin Theory potentially turning babyface. A babyface turn for Theory was teased time and time again throughout the calendar year, yet WWE just couldn't commit to go all the way with the dissolvement of 8 Down Under. A Theory at one stage was going to be cemented as a main eventer in WWE. Although it was clear that Triple H doesn't share that vision, the former Money in the Bank holder has potential as a babyface act. Now, we've seen countless times over the years just how well Theory does when handling media duties or charity appearances. This is what WWE looks towards when making decisions on who are going to be the top babyfaces within the company. Is 2025 the year in which Theory finally turns babyface? Well, time will tell. Number 8.
All right, so I know you got strong feelings about this one. So how you feel about this one?
I'm an Austin Theory fan, man, and it kind of sucks seeing him as this, but it's understandable. But just because it's like you look at him and you see how he interacts with his fans and him in like different interviews, he just has a very wholesome. He's just very wholesome, and I feel like him being a babyface would do wonders for him because him as a heel isn't really working. You can tell even going back to NXT when he's part of the way, he actually was entertaining. People were gravitating towards him because it seems like he was just being more of his genuine self. But this, when he came into the main roster, being the new chosen one of Vince McMahon and him being catapulted to the main event scene so quickly, I wasn't a fan of it. And then when he won the Money in the Bank, he failed to cash in. It even through when he was Mr. Money in the Bank, they made him look like a joke. He couldn't cash in on Roman.
Yeah. Roman
clowned him. He said, "Your dad's not here anymore." When Roman cut that promo, it was just pretty much dead at that point. It was just no reason.
Yeah.
But now with them teasing this babyface turn for like the better part of a year, they gotta do something with this man. Like, he has all the potential in the world to be a world champion. He has the look, he has the charisma, he has the mic skills if you really actually let him go. So there shouldn't be an issue why you can't break away from this tag team and let him do something. Like, if you were to tell me what's a good thing for him going on to Raw, finally break this team up on Raw and let him go after the Intercontinental Championship. Let him go after the IC title. He's already held the US. He's already held tag team.
Yeah.
Let him hold the IC, and then maybe, just maybe, he can have a showdown with Gunther at some point and have a world title opportunity.
Yeah, I used to watch this man back in Evolve, and I always felt like he
Yeah.
had star potential, and he was super young back at that time, and he was like one of my favorites in Evolve at that moment. And I was like, if he ever got an opportunity to come to WWE, give him about 10 years, and he'll be a huge star. Now, when he got moved up to the main roster, and I feel like, and it's rare to say this, when he was booked under Vince McMahon, I felt like he was booked better than he is under Triple H. And it's kind of weird to think about that, right? To have him have the Money in the Bank contract and fail cashing in on a mid-carder, but at the same time they put him in a weird situation where you knew Roman Reigns was not going to lose that title. You knew it. So who was he going to cash it in on?
Yeah.
He had nowhere to go. So it was like, it felt like no matter who won the Money in the Bank contract that year, it just wasn't nowhere for them to go. And then when Triple H came out and said, "Oh, now you can cash it on anybody," I was like, all right, I knew where they were going to go. Okay, give the man a mid-card title, but then he failed that. I'm like,
it was
what's
so
next?
weird.
What's
Because
next?
it's like, you could have just kept the Money in the Bank on him, just because if you think about it, a couple months after he failed his cash in, they introduced a world championship for Raw. He could have cashed in the finals when you had Seth and AJ. He could have cashed in on that and then made a triple threat. He could have pinned maybe like an AJ and then won the world championship.
Right. Yeah. So like I said, like no one had it. Roman had both titles. So where were you gonna go? You weren't gonna take a
He
title
wasn't
off
gonna
Roman.
beat Roman. He
No
wasn't.
one. Yeah. No, there was no way. There was no way. So yeah, he definitely needs a refresh, man. I agree. And they shouldn't have put both of them on Raw. They should have kept maybe Grayson on SmackDown, moved Austin over to Raw. I think that would have been a better situation, but I don't know. I don't know what they're doing nowadays, but I got a lot of questions than anything else.
Braun Strowman. Since returning to WWE, Braun Strowman has been presented as a babyface across both Raw and SmackDown. Whilst the former WWE Universal Champion is great in this role, his monster gimmick has truly run its course, and it's time for him to find something new. Strowman is definitely better at babyface act, and his wild antics and spots definitely face character, yet Strowman is clearly lacking in character development, and this is what WWE needs to rectify. One of the ideas that's been thrown around by fans is allowing fans to see inwards and allowing the audience to learn more about Strowman and his story. Strowman through a hell over the past few years, and his real life story would actually make fans care about him as a performer. Number 7.
All right, so this how do you feel about this one, man?
I mean, they made some great points. Braun Strowman, you know, back when he was enduring the whole Monster Among Men gimmick, when he's beating up Roman week after week in 2017, says, "I'm not finished with you." I really resonated with that, and I love that gimmick. It got to the point he was one of the most over in the company, to the point they had to turn him babyface. He was originally a heel. He got so popular they had to turn him babyface, and then during the height of his popularity, they turned him back to being a heel because the whole goal was to get Roman cheered. So it kind of didn't serve any purpose, and he won Money in the Bank that year, and then he failed to cash in, and it wasn't for his fault. It was because you had him cash in Hell in a Cell match, right? And then Brock Lesnar comes in, throws out the match, and it ends in a DQ. When has a
that was
Hell in a
crazy.
Cell match supposed to end in a DQ? They did that back to back. They did it in 2018 and 2019. The whole point of a Hell in a Cell match, there's no rules. You should not be. There should not be a reason to DQ a match that has no rules. What?
And I remember watching that match too. I was at like a bar and I was watching it with a lot of people. And after that happened, people was mad. It was people arguing with their girlfriends after it when they was all happy when they came in. Like people was getting into fights. I was like, they were like, how? Because it didn't make sense. Because Brock wasn't even a part of nothing. He just came in. it's just knocked everything down and caused. I don't understand that, but I guess they got to figure something out with him. Honestly, it doesn't have to be anything too deep. It don't have to be anything like a deep storyline or back lore. I mean, he could be monster amongst men and then have a little bit of character development. Because for someone to be that destructive, you don't really need a storyline
Maybe
that's that deep to justify what's
I
happening
don't
there.
know what you do with him. Maybe with him being on SmackDown, he could go after the US title just because that's the one title that he's not yet held.
Yeah.
Or
Mhm.
maybe he doesn't join, but has an allegiance with the Wyatt Six because the Wyatt Six is now on SmackDown, and you have Braun Strowman over there.
Yeah.
So maybe either have him join the faction, but I don't think that's going to be the case. So at the very least, maybe you have an allegiance with him.
Right. Yeah. And I agree. And as far as his character, they don't have to do anything deep.
No,
Like I know he's a baby face, but even like Brock Lesnar, when he goes around and destroy people,
people love it.
he don't have need to have a deep story. You don't need to know. Oh, he's on child support, so now he's upset because he can't buy what he wants to buy, and now he's attacking everybody who's married and got kids. No, you don't need that. He didn't need a deep
Yeah.
storyline when he attacked One Leg Greg, whatever the kid's name, One Leg. We didn't need a
Oh,
storyline
yeah,
for that.
Zach Gowen.
So even though Zach, I forgot his name, but even with Braun Strowman, even though he's a baby face, at least for now, him being the monster right now, if he's going to put people over like he did with Jacob Fatu or have great matches with people who are supposed to be monsters, like we did with what's his name? His name is not. It's not Jonah Hex anymore. It's
Bronson Reed.
Bronson Reed. Yes, Bronson Reed. When he had with him, that was perfectly fine. I like those type of matches where it's just like two monsters fighting, really no storyline behind that. And I feel like sometimes we're missing some of that when it comes to WWE, where people are just having a wrestling match because I just want to show that I'm better than you. I don't need to have a long-term story booking or anything deep like that.
Right.
But yeah, that's just me on that one.
Carlito. Carlito's booking since returning to WWE
This man is a
hasn't
certified
exactly set the
pincushion.
world on fire. Carlito has mainly been used as a side character in the Judgment Day, and whilst at first this acted as passable comedic relief, it's quickly gone stale, and fans are starting to question the point of Carlito in the faction. Despite being one of the most seasoned male stars on the roster, he barely wrestles, and if he ever laces up his boots, his performances are often met with criticism, as Carlito has dramatically regressed in the ring. Now, whilst his original gimmick was a classic and maybe dated, it'd be in WWE's best interest if they revert Carlito back to the final WWE run. Is considered a total failure.
Is it? You think it's a failure at this point?
Yeah, because it's like at first I'm thinking Carlito coming back was cool. I mean, he got a good reaction, like a really huge pop when he came back at Backlash 2023. But outside of that, they haven't really done anything. Like has not done anything. He's been a tag team champion before. He's been US champion and been Intercontinental champion. And I felt like if him coming back could have been a big deal if they would have booked it right. He could potentially be at least a challenger, or at least maybe won the world championship, even if it wasn't a long reign. Maybe it was a transitional reign at best, if booked right. But right now, he is a human pincushion. Every time we see the Judgment Day have a match, he is literally taking a beating. Every single time they have a match, and then him and JD come down there. Both of them are just taking beatings. And besides that, what is he doing?
It's so
what is he
weird,
doing
too.
besides that? Flirting with Raquel? That's it.
Yeah, comedic relief. And it's so weird though, seeing both these guys, especially JD McDonough. For people who got introduced to him on the main roster in WWE, they would never know when he was Jordan Devlin.
NXT UK.
They didn't know how good he was in NXT UK. He was killing it. He was crazy in the ring. He was a great heel. Now he's just goofy, Pez dispenser head guy that just makes people laugh. And the same thing that goes for Carlito. We remember how he used to be, as you said, and now he's just a comedic relief. I have a fear that once the whole Judgment Day gets split up, they're gonna put him in the speed division.
Dude,
when it comes to
they already got Chad Gable
Carlito
in the speed division.
I feel like that's what's gonna happen. And he just signed a new contract. So what is he doing down there?
Like
what is he doing?
I think who is it? Chad Gable versus Chris Sabin. And the winner faces Dragon Lee for the speed title. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Like, come on now. Like,
it's great. It's like they built these people up and it looks like something's gonna happen. Then when they sign the contract, they make him do something dumb, like they did with Chad Gable, like they did with Drew McIntyre. They gave him a whole sword just for him to to fail to cash in with the Money in the Bank. Like, what was the whole point? I don't understand why they do that, but it's like we got him, so whatever. But yeah, I agree.
Finn Balor. In
about to have the
December
whole Judgment Day
2024, when
on this
WWE
list.
formally announced that Finn Balor was the #1 contender
At
for the
this point, they're about to put the whole Judgment Day on this list.
Success his attempts to capture the gold. This was the
Mm-hmm.
major issue, as it highlighted just how damaged Balor is as a character, and it was a sign that his persona needs a major overhaul. Balor has quote-unquote been the leader of the Judgment Day faction for several years now, and even though the majority of his work has been great, it's time to do something new with him. Right now, Balor currently lacks credibility, and his motivations as a heel are all over the place. There have been calls from fans to see Balor revert back to being a babyface and stay behind him, and this could possibly be the best move for his career. The majority of Balor's most exciting feuds and matches have been as a babyface, and seeing that babyface style persona return with an added edge could be the right step forward. Currently, we have any plans to bring back the beloved demon persona, but this will be another welcome step in the next evolution of the inaugural Universal Champion. There are a lot of rumors online regarding the state of Balor's faction, and some fans have theorized could act as the final nail in the coffin for a stable that has been dominating Raw since 2022.
No.
Number 5.
No. Please don't.
Oh, that's not happening.
No. No, I
With
don't
the
want to see
YSX?
that. No.
Yeah. No, I don't want to see that either. They got to do
This
something.
guy-
He's
in
I don't
limbo.
understand it.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Finn Balor is like one of the best on the roster from an in-ring perspective, if you want to be honest.
Yeah. And that's why he was like my dark horse for winning the Rumble. Like that's like my dark horse there to like finally get him to win a World Heavyweight Championship, because that's what he's been fiending over. That's the story that's been telling with him as far as being this fiend since his match against Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. Like it's been this thing that he's been after for a while. So it's like, how do we cap off the storyline without making it end awkwardly and
They
splitting up
made
the Judgment Day?
fans really believe that they were going to do something, because you look at the summer last year where the Judgment Day story was like really starting to heat up with Liv Morgan trying to get into the good graces of the Judgment Day, right? They had a good opportunity to put the Money in the Bank contract on Finn Balor, and then if he turned at SummerSlam and then cashed and become world champion, I think that would have created a compelling story right there. But you're not doing Finn Balor any favors by having him in this Judgment Day vortex with Damian Priest, and Damian Priest keeps beating Finn Balor time and time again. Every time it really matters where they are across the ring from each other, Finn Balor loses.
Yep.
At this point, he's almost damaged goods at this point. And talking about what they should do with him, and people are saying maybe he should go back to being a face. What you need to do, revert back to what he did in NXT. NXT, when he returned to NXT, he turned heel, but he was not fully a heel, but he was not really a full face either. He was blurring the lines of both. He was pretty much a face with an edge. Now, if you want him to have him be a babyface, that's fine, but have some layers to his character to where he has an edge to him as well. And I think that can allow fans to be more invested into him and what he's doing. Because right now, I don't think they have plans for Judgment Day. It doesn't seem like it, because these past 2 weeks they got a combined maybe less than 4 minutes between both segments. It's been
I agree.
Maybe a minute.
I feel like they're hanging on to the Judgment Day a little bit too long. I think that should have been
their theme song.
They should have
It's
just
dead.
Yeah, it's dead. I guess it's supposed to match with Finn Balor's theme in a sense to show that he's the leader now. But this rendition of the Judgment Day doesn't make sense. It's already falling apart. I just hope they don't drag it on like they do with the Austin Theory and the Grayson Waller thing. Like put them up. We already see Dominic and Liv is planning something to do something against the Judgment Day. We don't know if Liv Morgan fully trusts
I don't think
Dominic
she
Mysterio. So
I don't think she does, because I think what's going to happen is this has been going on a couple of times. People have been talking about this. Either or at least Liv might end up leaving and going to SmackDown, right? That's one option that they've been talking about. The other option is Liv and Dom go to SmackDown, and then maybe Liv starts to see Dom be a little bit buddy with Tiffany. Liv gets upset about that and she turns at that. Or the way they're planning it, I think Dominic might be in trouble because Liv knows Finn Balor will be irate at the sight of Dominic Mysterio trying to win the championship and have the titles and the judgment without him. She knows that. What I think is going to happen,
and he didn't call the shot either.
Well, pretty much Dominic did call the shots. You could kind of tell he's been.
No, I mean Finn Balor.
Exactly.
Finn Balor.
But what I think is going to happen.
Yeah.
Because you got to think there is still some unfinished business within the judgment, at least for Liv and Finn. Because if you go back to last year when it was starting to pick up, we saw Liv left the hotel key card and we saw Finn Balor pick it up. Now we know Finn Balor said that, oh, I was the devil on pretty much Dominic's shoulder. I told him to go with Liv. But what if there's some things that they have left out that we don't know? What if there is a possibility that Liv and Finn did indeed have a conversation, but we have yet to figure it out? And we also got to understand, Liv and Finn got the same car together. There is some things that we still have not
in that video.
Exactly. So what I think is about to happen over the course between now and WrestleMania, we could see maybe they set something up where Dominic faces Finn at WrestleMania, and then Liv is kind of somewhere in the middle. And then we see Liv betray Dominic and align with Finn. And then we find out Liv and Finn were the one pulling the strings this entire time. And then now they're the new power couple. And then maybe they both go to SmackDown.
They got to do something.
And Dominic can stay over on Raw. Because
Yeah,
I think the ultimate goal is going to probably be Liv and Finn being together, and then both of them probably being the new power couple, and then maybe they go to SmackDown. Because you got to think, Liv probably, you can see it already. They treat her a lot better on SmackDown within a week than she's been on Raw in the past 2 years. She beat Bianca Belair.
Yeah, but she did win the championship on Raw and the crown jewel ring thing.
But she won her first championship on SmackDown. So
that's true.
And she won the tag titles while being on that brand.
And that run should have been a lot better than what it was. So that was a crazy situation there, for sure. All right, Naomi.
Upon returning to WWE at the start of 2024, WWE fans hoped that the company would try something innovative and different with Naomi. She had been using a Feel the Glow persona for years, but there was something that was missing that was preventing her level. It also didn't help that it was never made clear what the character was beyond a fancy entrance, and this is really not going all the way with her. Throughout 2024, it looked like Naomi was going to turn heel, and this was teased countless alliance with Bayley. However, it just never materialized. As things stand, herself in the middle of a storyline with Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, and due to Cargill being taken out of action, Naomi has stepped into the fold to team with Belair. Now, they could be the one behind Jade Cargill's attack, and if this is indeed the case, then it would act as a welcome change of character for Naomi and finally give us something new to do on the Blue brand. Number 4, Almost.
All right, so this has been the biggest question. Some people think that Jade Cargill either got thrown on the car. Some people think she got hit by the car. I'm guessing she got thrown on her because I don't know how you get hit that hard and land like that on the hood. But I don't know. Whatever the case may be, somebody used the car to hurt her. But I think we're gonna get that heel turn pretty soon. It has to be, right? It has to be her.
I feel like people are setting it up to where it might be Bianca, and it could very well. But I think it could be a possibility that Naomi was the one that did it, or maybe both Bianca and Naomi were at play here. I think both of them could have been in cahoots, and both of them did it.
It's kind of weird that they don't even, like, after it happened, they're not even saying anything about it. They're all happy. They act like it didn't even happen. Like, they're not even, none of them are like, I'm worried about Jade. I wonder what's going on with her. They're just out cheering and dancing and matching.
You can tell that maybe Jade is starting to catch on, because I think last week, if I'm not mistaken, Naomi put on Twitter, she says, I'm still looking for who attacked Jade. And Jade Cargill responded to say, are you sure?
Yeah, I saw that.
So I feel like Naomi has something to do with it. And going back to her character, she's always kind of had the same character. Like she's only really had. I know she had the Funkadactyls thing when at first. Then she, she was with she was with Team Bad with Sasha Banks and Tamina, which was cool. I think she really shined as a heel. And then even after she left and went to TNA, it seemed like that character still followed her wherever she went. And I feel like maybe now she's a good time to reestablish herself and come up with a new character and kind of just get away from like the glow gimmick for good and do something else. Because with her being in this storyline, she's gonna turn heel and she's gonna come with a different character. So,
and she doesn't have she really doesn't have a character. It's just glow. That's it. She just glows in the dark. And that's about it. I can't really tell you anything deeper than that when it comes to her. But yeah, she needs to turn heel. I think that would be a great character change for her. I'm glad she went to TNA to prove herself and come back. That was a great thing for her.
Almost has disappeared entirely from WWE television, and he's been forced to work on his internet presence, particularly his YouTube channel, to stay in the forefront of the fans' minds. Almost impressed in featured matches against the likes of Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins, but this wasn't enough for WWE to keep him on television, and Almost was just relegated to making sporadic house show appearances. In early 2025, Almost stepped into pro wrestling. The Nigerian giant managed to win a title on his first night. Almost getting a run in Japan is a smart move, and it looks like his run already is destined to be a success. When Almost returns to filming, WWE should look to explore Almost's real life personality. He's connected with the fans thanks to his social media content, and his real interviews make him seem like the sweetest, most genuine wrestler in the world. In this day and age, a generic big guy just isn't going to cut it, and little development could go a long way in getting Almost over with the gents. It's not just the WWE fanbase that has been impressed with Almost, as even the legendary Undertaker allowed Almost a guest spot on his podcast. The podcast was received unbelievably well, and the dead man would later urge WWE to take another look at what Almost could potentially bring to the table. Number 3.
He has a great personality.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen any of his videos outside of WWE, he can talk really, really well. And I saw that he relinquished that tag title.
He even said in a
gave it to
promo,
someone else.
He's coming back to WWE.
So he'll probably be
in the Rumble. Maybe you send him down to NXT if you feel like he needs a little bit more improvement. Obafemi,
maybe he could face Talafala.
I think Obafemi would be cool.
He could face Kaleo. Obafemi, yeah. Obafemi will be cool, definitely. Or they could faction him up. Maybe they could have Omos as part of his faction if they built one.
That'd be cool.
But yeah, that'd be cool.
Done. That was a great move when WWE decided to ditch the Butch persona and allow Pete Dunne to be, well, Pete Dunne again. Ultimately, this has had little to no benefit to Dunne, as outside a feud with Sheamus, his character was stale within a matter of weeks, and the former WWE UK champion often finds himself on WWE main event, which is clearly a sign that WWE have no creative plans for him. Dunne is an outstanding wrestler and could be a great addition to the mid either Raw or SmackDown, yet he currently lacks any character development. Debuting a new gimmick with his Pete Dunne name should be the move forward, and it may begin to enamor fans towards the popular star. It was reported in 2024 that Dunne was producing matches for WWE. Fans took this as if WWE was slowly fizzling him out as an on-air character. It's uncommon for wrestlers to pull double duty in this capacity. Nevertheless, Dunne is only 31 years old and still has years upon years left before he even considers retirement. Number 2, Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, he's pretty young, man. Like he's been doing this for a while. I hope they don't treat him like, remember Cassius Ono?
Do I
remember him?
I remember.
Yeah, they just had him do random matches and then just stay in the back and just help. Yeah, and that was it. He just did like creative stuff in the background. I hope they don't do that with Pete Dunne. I think he has a lot more to offer than to just be bending people's fingers.
He's kind of been on autopilot. Maybe they're waiting for Tyler Bate to come back and then do something there.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's true. What happened to what is it? The
other one?
What happened to Gallus?
Gallus is in NXT still.
Are they actually doing anything down there?
They recently competed for the NXT tag titles, but there are pitches for Drew to have his own faction, and his faction will consist of him and Gallus.
And Gallus? Oh, that would be interesting. That's good for them. I like the Coffee
Now,
Brothers.
some of you ain't gonna like this, but it made all the sense in the
Rhea
world to
Ripley,
turn
yeah.
Rhea Ripley babyface. Ripley was incredibly popular despite being a heel, and she had every tool it took to be a top babyface on the women's roster. Whilst Ripley's babyface hasn't been atrocious, the character progression has been abysmal, and fans have urged WWE to do Ripley's presentation. Right now, Ripley is presented as invincible, and her character has been in a rut due to a never-ending feud with Liv Morgan. But now with the feud between the two seemingly now in the rearview mirror, then this should mean that Ripley can evolve as a wrestler and as a character, and a slight persona adjustment should be the move forward as WWE heads towards WrestleMania 41. And number
What do they
one,
do with her though? I don't know what they would like do with her at this
I
point.
feel like she, you know, she's a good babyface, but it's just the booking, like the fact that you having her be invincible to where it's like nobody stands a chance. It's like
Yeah.
she doesn't sell anything. Like you literally had her be beaten to a bloody pulp in the lead up to Crown Jewel, right? You could have sold that and maybe had her come back at the Rumble. This would have given time for Liv to continue to develop as a heel and as a champion. We could take a break from this feud for at least a good 4 months, because this happened in November. So this would have been December, January, at least 3 months. At least
Right.
3 months, we would have been able to take a break from this feud and then maybe revisit it and lead up to WrestleMania, because this was the plan for WrestleMania. Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan was penciled in to be at WrestleMania this year. So her booking, her not even selling that injury, she literally was out for about a week or 2 weeks and then came back. Are you serious? You're not supposed, like, that's not selling an injury.
I agree.
You're making Liv Morgan look like a joke because like she can do whatever she wants, but nobody's selling for her.
They beat her up pretty bad with those bats though, so I don't know how she bounced back. And speaking of
That's
Rhea
what I'm
Ripley,
saying.
I'm seeing this news things. I don't know if this is gonna happen, but I guess people are saying that Rhea Ripley is hinting at entering the men's Royal Rumble.
Oh, good God, no.
I don't think she's gonna do that. I know people want to see it because of China, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
And then
At
Beth
all.
Phoenix did it, so it's a possibility. But
It's
I feel
possible.
like
I don't
that
see the
depending,
point though.
I wouldn't mind it. It just I don't want her to come in and then it's wasting somebody else's spot that could have been in there.
Yeah. And she's coming out there. What are you gonna do? She's gonna dominate a couple of the small guys.
She's
and
probably
get
if
thrown
she
out by a
comes
big
in,
guy.
the only person she's gonna probably eliminate is Dominic.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be him for sure.
The Miz. It's often been said that
What?
former WWE champion The Miz is better as a heel as
Yeah,
opposed to a
that's
babyface.
interesting.
Whilst this may be true, it could be argued that The Miz's finest character work in recent years has come as a babyface during his vastly underrated feud with Gunther. Since that feud, Miz has turned heel and abandoned his former partner R-Truth. Miz is just back, and the final Testament involvement does add an element of freshness to his personality. In scheme of things, The Miz currently feels like the stalest he's ever been as an on-air character. But don't get us wrong, The Miz is still an incredible asset to WWE, and to his credit, his in-ring work still manages to deliver at a high level, which speaks volumes in relation to how talented he is. The issue is that WWE have done everything they can possibly do with him, so what's next? The Miz taking on a new gimmick shouldn't be too difficult, and WWE should look to build Miz as this disgruntled veteran who's now going to do whatever he can to reach the top of the WWE once more. But there you have it, folks.
Okay.
I personally, I don't really
I
care
can
what they
see
do
what
with the
they're
Miz at this point.
saying. Like he's
Yeah.
always been better as a heel than face. So, like we can all agree to that. I think the character
Oh, for
would be
sure.
cool for him if he was to be a person that's desperate for one more world championship run and would do any and everything to get another opportunity at it. That's a gimmick that I could see I'm okay with, especially with him being on SmackDown. People wouldn't
Mhm.
want this, but I wouldn't be surprised if we at Backlash maybe. I wouldn't be surprised if we do him versus Miz or something. I wouldn't be surprised.
Who versus Miz?
Miz versus Cody, post-Mania. I wouldn't be surprised
Oh,
if they
okay.
do that.
Okay.
So,
That'd be, it'd be interesting if Nick Nimitz did enter the Royal Rumble and he has a face to face with the Miz. That'd be kind of cool.
facts.
Like to see, given their history. But overall, yeah, it's a lot of interesting things that can come out of that. Hold on, and then we got this last one. 10 moments that made Triple H go off script in WWE.
Okay.
Hold on, let me share the screen. Oh, so you good so far? Do you need to use the bathroom or anything before you go into this next video? Okay. Okay.
Can
All right,
you
let's get into it.
retrieve your balls from Stephanie's purse?
10 times Triple H broke character on television and went off script. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Number 10, endorsing Cedric Alexander. The Cruiserweight Classic received universal acclaim as it allowed some of the best pure wrestlers in the world to show their abilities. One of the names who impressed throughout the tournament was Cedric Alexander, and his matches were so well received that fans were audibly urging WWE to sign him to a full-time contract. And when Triple H saw this reaction, he decided he had no choice but to break character and go off script by endorsing Alexander in front of a live crowd. Alexander looked devastated following his loss in the tournament, and this is when the game appeared from the backstage area to put his arm around him and basically tell the crowd that Alexander was going to be signed to a WWE deal. This was a wholesome moment, and it was likely that when the tournament was first put together, the game had no idea that he was going to go off script in this way. Number 9, they look just like you, Daniel. Now, in late 2013, the WWE audience had decided that Daniel Bryan was their guy. Despite this crowd allegiance, WWE was still pushing the same names, and they decided to revisit the Randy Orton versus John Cena rivalry for what felt like the 500th time. The two were set to meet at the TLC pay-per-view, and the TLC match would be for both the WWE and the world title. To set the tone for this historic match, WWE would deliver a championship ascension ceremony on Raw featuring various former world champions. WWE evidently didn't expect the crowd in Seattle, Washington for their home state star, but this is exactly what happened. The crowd weren't remotely interested in any of the names in the ring other than Daniel Bryan. The crowd reacted to Bryan as if he was the biggest star on the planet, and it completely derailed the segment. Numerous names went off script in the segment, including Mark Henry, John Cena, and of course, Triple H. Triple H struggled with how to handle the crowd response, and he decided to improvise, and he proceeded to mock the appearance of the fans by claiming that they all looked like Bryan. Unfortunately for the game, this wasn't exactly an insult to the audience, so they proceeded to root for Bryan even more in one of the most infamous segments in Raw history. Number 8.
Yeah, it's not a good insult. You can't tell them that they look like their favorite wrestler.
That's
how does that work?
You could have said anything. You just chose to say that. Like, come on now, let's be honest.
Yeah.
A tense confrontation. The WrestleMania 40 kickoff show got the world talking, and a tense confrontation between former rivals of Triple H and The Rock was definitely one of the highlights. Now, it was reported after the event that in typical Final Boss fashion, The Rock went off script to confront Triple H, and this confrontation wasn't remotely planned. This meant that Triple H's response was completely improvised, and to his credit, the game handled it extremely well. Triple H responded completely in character, yet nobody would have known that the heated confrontation was completely unplanned. Number 7.
Was it? It was. That was unplanned for real?
Apparently it was. I felt like it was supposed to be something else, but
wow.
Yeah, a lot.
That's what I thought, because remember Triple H came out at one point and said, "Oh, there's somebody who think they're above people." Like he kind of took shots at The Rock in a promo. Like I think on a Raw or something like that. So I thought it was all part of it. So wow, I didn't know that.
I think, like you said, like it was a little. They did go off script, and I guess with that happening, they kind of just ran with it.
Okay, that makes sense. Dang. Okay.
The Rock makes Triple H break.
Learn something new every day.
The Rock's comedic antics during the Attitude Era were often prone to making top wrestlers in the company break character, and this extended to WWE's resident top heel at the time, Triple H. The Rock would cut a promo at the top of the ramp, and during this promo, the Great One would do a hilarious impression of Triple H. The Rock would even poke fun at the game's long-winded promos, and Triple H had no choice but to smirk, as he really just couldn't keep it together. Triple H did his absolute best to remain in character, but the moment was just so brilliant that not even Triple H could avoid breaking. Number 6, Gold.
You remember that?
I remember that. he said, "I am the game."
Goldust's stuttering
Man, I love The Rock.
antics. During Goldust's WWE run between 2002 to 2003, his character went into a much more comedic direction. While some were critical of this, Goldust's work in the comedic role was fantastic, and he delivered some of the funniest moments ever seen on the Red brand. During Triple H's feud with Booker T, he would have a memorable interaction with Goldust in the ring. Due to Goldust being electrocuted by Evolution, he had developed a stutter. WWE naturally played into the stutter for comedy, and during the promo exchange, Triple H and Ric Flair completely lost it every time Goldust's stutter would emerge. How even Goldust kept it together during that segment was just unbelievable. Number 5, how was your movie, by the way? And when Vince McMahon was running WWE, only a select few wrestlers were allowed to deviate away from the script. Fans saw this firsthand during the Summer of Punk in 2011. Punk, John Cena, and Triple H would often go off script to add to shoot elements to their promos. And during a tense promo exchange between the three, the game truly believed he owned Punk in an unplanned moment. Punk would hilariously bring up Triple H starring in the dreadful WWE Studios movie The Chaperone, and Triple H responded by simply saying, "How was your movie, by the way?" Whilst this rebuttal could have worked, Triple H was engaging in a promo war with one of the best on the microphone, so Punk responded by saying, "Mine went straight to DVD, just like yours." Triple H was stunned with the response, and he looked legitimately seething. It's hardly to see eye to eye during this time, as they were clearly using live television to take direct shots at each other. Number 4, mistaken identity. One of the funniest elements of R-Truth's persona is his consistent habit of mistaking the identities of members of the roster.
And he called him Ciampa.
Convinced that Tommaso Ciampa was Triple H, and when Truth was involved in a segment on Raw with the game in 2024, Truth was truly baffled. Truth would accuse the game of being a magician before stating that he was fooling everyone, as according to Truth, it was actually Ciampa in the ring. Truth's delivery was so outlandish that the game broke character and began to laugh, and the crowd joined in on the hilarity, as it was really a truly hilarious segment. Number 3, attacking a fan. When a fan rushes into the ring, wrestlers are always justified in what the fan is planning to do. During a live event in Europe in the late 90s, a fan rushed into the ring to attack Stone Cold Steve Austin. Austin's opponent, that being Triple H, instantly broke character and sprung into action and preventing him from harming Austin. The game brought the fan to the ground with what looked like a German suplex, and in a unique moment, the game and the referee began to brutally attack the fan. Obviously,
the referee.
As an act of self-defense. Austin himself offered a great insight into the game-breaking character on his podcast, and this is what the WWE Hall of Famer had to say. Triple H, stand-up cat. He picked that dude up, slammed him, and started punching his lights out. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't help beat the guy up. I'm the babyface, but Triple H was watching my back and he beat the snot out of that guy. The thing about it is, when you pay your money to come into that building, you've earned the right to voice your opinion. Cheer, boo, do whatever to the wrestlers, and we expect that. You don't want to be spit on, you don't want to be punched, slapped, none of that. But when someone crosses those rails or someone comes between those ropes, you're considered fair game. But I always gave Triple H credit for doing that. Now, instances of this nature are rare, but when they do occur, kayfabe should always go out the window, as a wrestler's safety always should take priority. Number 2.
Did you see when that kid from South Africa got in the ring and low blow Randy Orton?
I seen the one where a fan attacked Rollins. It's just crazy. Like he said, like, it's okay to be a fan and, you know, go to these shows and cheer, boo. It's okay to do that. But when you step through those ropes, you are fair game. If you go through those ropes, it's game over. So
it is, and the crazy part is the kid who low blow Randy Orton turned around and cut a promo on a video and tried to use that as a way to get into WWE. That's not going to
be the way you get into WWE, by doing that.
Yeah, you don't. If anything, you don't want to be in WWE, because when it comes to paying receipts, he's not gonna forget that. You talking about Randy Orton? Randy Orton told on everybody whenever they did something to him. So.
You see what happened to Kofi? Derailed his push. What do you think he's gonna do to you?
He like, Vince, they doing it again. Like, he used to tell on everybody.
That's not your way to get into WWE. That's your way to get into a prison cell, but not in a WWE ring.
Yeah, that's great. It's like saying, "Oh, I'm going to arrest the police so I can get into the academy."
Oh Lord,
like, what? That's not how it works, dude. What are you thinking? People are
Stone
crazy.
Cold gets stuck. And the main event of the 1999 SummerSlam event almost ended in disaster. The main event featured a WWE title showdown between Stone Cold Steve Austin, Triple H, and Mankind. And during the match, Austin somehow got tangled into the ropes and he was completely stuck. Triple H once again knew that he had to break character and go off script to help Austin, and this highlighted just how talented the game was, as it wasn't evident that the game was helping Austin, it just looked like another planned spot. Well, thankfully, the Texas Rattlesnake was perfectly okay, and in a comedic twist, Austin would reveal years later that both men had to hide their faces from the camera, as both of them just couldn't stop laughing at the situation. And number 1, Triple H consoles a young fan crying.
Yeah, Money in the
Now, in early
Bank
2015, Triple H received mainstream media attention, and it was for something extremely positive. For a match on Raw, Triple H and Stephanie McMahon would be sitting ringside, and a young Triple H fan in the crowd began to root for the game, despite Triple H being a heel at the time. Triple H tried to have fun with the fan by saying, "Hey, stop messing with me, I'm trying to do my job over here." Unfortunately, this made the young fan cry. This led to the game breaking character and speaking to the fan directly. Triple H would have a heart-to-heart with the boy, and by the end of their exchange, the kid was smiling and laughing. The game's kindness didn't stop there, as once the show was over, he would invite the fan backstage to meet his favorite WWE names and have photographs with everyone in the locker room. This was such a classy gesture from Triple H, and it was hardly a surprise that the media outlets were quick to pick up this wholesome story. But there you have it, folks. 10 times.
Bro, I'm about to buy a ticket to Raw front row right now. I'm about to be crying my eyes out.
Real.
If that's what you get from that, I'm about to be out there.
I don't
crying,
think it
bro.
works for us though.
That is
I
crazy.
think we just gonna get it. We just gonna be looked at like weirdos at that point. Like, no.
You're gonna get kicked out. That's what's gonna happen. They're gonna get the people in all white to come pick us up. But yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, I guess that's about it for this one, man. What you doing for the rest of today?
Probably just watch some old WWE pay-per-views and stuff like that. Probably watch some more Rumble matches and Money in the Banks and stuff like that. That's kind of usually how I spend my Sundays.
Okay, so you got some videos or something coming out, or already planned out for the week, or?
I already got them. Already got thumbnails ready, pretty much. Just need to record, and edit and drop them. Money in the Royal Rumble predictions coming out this week.
Okay.
Raw watch along tomorrow. Might do NXT, AEW for sure. SmackDown, Rumble. Probably gonna do some previews like with the match, but put them in like 2K and see how the AI predicts these matches. That's kind of something I usually do. Might be on Kikin or Ross once again this week for Royal Rumble, so I'm not sure yet.
Really?
I don't want to say yes.
Oh, that's what's up.
It's a possibility. So,
you hear that? No. All right, I gotta get my sound effects working then. That was hand claps, but I'm gonna do it in person. I got like this the stream deck here that with the hand clap sound effect, it's not working properly, so I gotta figure that out.
I think they usually mainly just use OBS or work through OBS. I think.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I gotta set mine up. I just got it out the box and everything. But yeah, that's cool. You're gonna be on Kick It In with Ross once again.
Possibly,
man.
Possibly,
that's what's up. Ross is a stand-up guy for that, man. That's pretty cool that he did that for you. That's dope. But yeah, guys, if you aren't already, please subscribe to Kicking It with Leo. Check out his channels. He got some videos lined up this week. Subscribe here as well. And next time I'm trying to figure something out. You were like the guinea pig or the tester to figure out how I want to do this whole thing with having somebody on the show. I'm gonna figure out some interactive to do with the chat and with whoever I'm doing, like if with you, figure some things out so we can have a lot more stuff going on. But yeah, thank you again, bro. Thank you for taking the time. I had you on here for a while, huh? It's been what, 2 hours?
Yeah, 2 hours. Just went over a little bit, 2 hours. 2 hours.
Oh, a little bit over 2 hours. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you again, bro. I really appreciate you stopping by. We're gonna get you. Let's get this man to 1K subscribers, please. Again, subscribe to his channel. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I appreciate you guys for joining us. All the people who are not bots. Yeah. At the end of the day, we're gonna check out. We got things to do. I got a car to work on. I got football to watch, and Leo got videos to do. So everybody who joined us, thank you so much. Hope you guys have a good day.